You are being watched by a Trojan virus, but maybe you don't know it, as it works behind the scenes, a silent observer of it all. This is the unfortunate reality for some, either naive or unknowing of the deceptive nature of the internet, and the harmful files that spread through its roots. But in the meantime, a young Roblox developer is sitting in a Discord call with his friends. They're inside the server of his niche and somewhat popular Roblox game, but unbeknownst to the developer, he's not the only one currently using his computer, as behind the scenes someone else has gained unauthorized access to everything: account details, personal files, photos, anything and everything that is on the PC. All of it stemming from one deceptive file. This is noblocks.js. It's a commonly used API wrapper that Roblox developers often implement into their games or Discord servers. It can be used for promoting users, shouting events, or creating Discord utilities. A completely normal. Two packages, called noblocks.js proxy and noblocks.js proxies. They're impersonating a legitimate NPM package, with NPM being the package manager for Node.js, a runtime environment for JavaScript, and subsequently what noblocks.js uses. Each malicious library boasted a total download count of 387. This was discovered in October 2021, where this was found in the package JSON file. What you're seeing is a batch script that the author tried to obfuscate. This batch script first targets the Windows UAC, attempting to bypass it via a Windows binary that claims to facilitate features on demand. It then uses PowerShell to download and grabs 4 malicious executables from Discord's CDN server. Doing so helps to disable anti-malware engines and deploy binaries that are capable of being ransomware. But from the 4, the one we're going to focus on is the last. tunamore.exe. This executable is referred to as a RAT, a remote access Trojan. It allows a bad actor to essentially control another person's PC, having access to their passwords, emails, and personal information. In this situation, it displayed a ransom note to the user. Shortly after the ransomware was uploaded, NPM shot it down, but that wasn't the end of things. In August of 2023, it was found that another set of compromised packages were uploaded. They were essentially the same in terms of functionality as the previous two. They launch on Windows-operated machines and deploy the executables hosted on Discord's CDN. However, these 3 packages had a unique characteristic. They also delivered a Luna grabber. This means that it deployed a multi-stage infection sequence, where it also snatched up Discord tokens and other sensitive system information. The reason it makes the packages so hard to combat is because it can adapt, as it even has a self-destruct mechanism. The packages had a total of 963 downloads before their removal, but those who downloaded the packages still had their computers infected, leaving their personal machines as nothing more than digital husks. All the sensitive and personal information sold off, and the computer itself is still backdoored, a small opening where someone can continue to creep in and out. It's almost a full year later, and, as if like clockwork, even more malicious packages are uncovered, 4 this time, following the same typo squatting trend as the last few. The purpose of these packages was to install Stealer malware and a Trojan called Quasar Rat. The embedded code continued to do more of the same, stealing Discord tokens, updating the Microsoft antivirus exclusion list to avoid detection, and setting up a persistent state for the program via a Windows registry change. It hijacks the system settings, so that when the user opens the settings app, the malware is deployed. The goal is to embed the Quasar Rat into the computer. This would grant the attacker remote access over the machine, being able to harvest its information with ease. Once harvested, it will then be transferred to a command and control server using a Discord webhook. A computer and a virus are currently locked in an intense game of cat and mouse. As the anti-malware defenses scour through the thousands of files on the computer, it's unaware of the fact that the source of the malware has already been opened. It's now in stage 2, and while the PC is attempting to pick itself back up, the deployed malicious code begins to slowly eat away at any information it can get its hands on. As the computer continues its search for the Trojan, something else has been awakened from its dormant slumber. Previously, we looked at the fourth malicious executable in a 2021 NPM library hijacking of Roblox called Tunamore.exe, a Trojan virus. However, there were still 3 others that are yet to be explored. The first one, titled exclude.bat. This is a one-liner batch script that runs before any other executable. This is because it wants to detect and turn off any anti-malware agents inside the computer, and to avoid detection while it does so, it adds the C directory to the Windows Defender exclusion list. This forces Windows Security to halt its blocking of the malware, as the file is deemed trustworthy. After that, Legion.exe begins its job of deploying multiple files. Among them is a Stealer.exe, which is used to obtain Discord tokens and sorted browser and system credentials. To avoid detection, it performs registry changes. But it's only after that the most interesting of the 4 is set into motion. 000.exe. This is a .NET executable that drops files to the PC. They include a text file, a batch script, RTF documents, an executable, and an MP4 video. The text file simply contains the string "you're next." The batch script attempts to change the Windows account name to "you're next." It also deploys the malicious RTF file and executes a file called rniw.exe. Once it's run, it tries to exhaust system resources by creating numerous pop-up alert boxes with the text "run away." Alongside this, the threat actors play an ominous video. Though we can actually trace back most of this to a YouTube video. A YouTuber named Flytech uploaded a video in 2015 that showcased a fictional malware creepypasta called 000.exe. And in that video, you can clearly see everything that was included in the executable. The creepy video, the text saying "you're next," and the name of the executable itself. Now, this of course doesn't mean that Flytech made the malicious packages, but that someone simply replicated the malware, most likely just to further mess with the victim. Regardless, the attacker still attached dangerous files to the packages. After all of this, Tunamore.exe is up next, of which I've already covered. What makes this interesting is that the 2021 packages were noted as being the only ones to contain these additional features. Every following package in the later years simply deployed the Stealer malware and Trojan, then called it a day. Why the developer of the malicious code chose to implement a rather generic attempt at being scary by using a 9-year-old creepypasta is unknown. The identity of the developer of the malware is also unknown, along with their intentions. The obfuscated code was scrambled Chinese characters, and that the Trojan used was one called Taidur, a Chinese espionage malware variant that's been in use since 2008. With this, you'd think some Chinese hacker was perhaps responsible. On the other hand, the ransom note was found to be similar to others seen in different ransomware variants, most notably the MBRL variants, which were mainly just pranks, so it could also be some random teen who wanted to prank their peers and make some money off their stolen information. As such, it's difficult to determine why the person who created these hijacked packages wanted to target Roblox developers, or who they even were. The number of computers still infected with the ransomware remains a mystery, as it's unknown which of the thousands of possible PCs are still fighting a near-invisible enemy, and if they're continuing to lose the battle.